Good morning, and you join me for the second of my two adventures from the Cornish coast. I've travelled down to Wheal Coates this morning. There's a tin mine located amongst these hills, which is going to be the main focal point, the main topic of today's video. But look at these stunning views that we've got to enjoy today. So as I've already mentioned, Wheal Coates is a tin mine. It's an abandoned one. It's a perfect way to describe the Cornish coast, the Cornish heritage really, because of course you've got a lot of tin mines. Well, I'm just wandering around at the moment because I've never been here before. I've got a few more days before I head home. So already in my head I'm thinking to myself, I've got this one chance, this one opportunity to get the shots that I want today. Because when I head home and review them in Lightroom, if I'm not happy with how they look, I'm not going to be able to just wander down here on a whim like I would do if I was at a location closer to home. If I wasn't happy with the shots, I could head out a couple of days later, do better. If there's something I missed, capture it that time around. No such luxury on this occasion really. So I've just been taking some 10-second long exposures of this scene that you see in the background. Got the sun slowly coming up this morning. Sunrise was nothing really to shout home about. Didn't even bother getting the camera out, which is unusual for me, in all honesty. But I've just turned around. Let me swing the camera around in the opposite direction. I'm not sure if you can see it, but we've got the light just hitting the cliffs in the background. We've got this road, or this pathway, leading you round and along to the coastline in the background. Beautiful shot this morning. Long exposures I find really difficult down here in Cornwall. I don't bother with them as much as what I normally do back home in Kent. The water, the waves, the surf, it's so much stronger here, especially the surf. There's so much white surf in the sea. But I put the ND64 filter, had to go to F16, and annoyingly I've left my ND1000 filter in the car. So I'm having to use the 6-stop filter. But just a nice 13-second timer off in the distance. It's not smoothed out the water perfectly. It's almost created a bit of a misty effect, which is just perfect. But it's just that light hitting the back of the cliffs. That's the main focus for the shot. Not the water, not the scene as a whole, but that beautiful light hitting the back of the cliffs. Okay, so I'm really struggling at the moment. As you can see, I've come away from the coast a little bit. I've come a little bit more inland because I want to get this main shot of the buildings. However, the sun has really come up, and I am really wishing there was a little bit of cloud for that sun to disappear behind. Because as I try and take this shot a little bit more head on, I've got my own shadow being caused by the sun. So whatever shot I try and capture, I've got myself in the scene. I'm just thinking to myself, do I move, do I duck, do I go a little bit lower, do I zoom in, do I just cope with my shadow and hope that I can edit myself out in Photoshop afterwards? Timed it really badly to come and shoot this point. I should have come here at the start of the day before the sun had even risen. I lost the advantage of shooting what is a magnificent scene here. I'll still hopefully get a couple of decent shots of these main buildings. We've got all this lovely heather in the foreground. Beautiful colour, greens, purples, few yellows. Got the blue of the sea, got the light hitting the cliffs in the background. It's a beautiful scene. Just to show my own shadow is getting involved in the action. Okay, so I think I've managed to find a spot to be able to get these main buildings from whilst cutting my own shadow out of the shot. At the moment, I'm just over on the left of this little path that leads us down to the buildings really. Thankfully, what I can do is it allows me to just focus the camera. If I turn it back on, it just allows me just to focus over on the right hand side. Like I say, still we get to enjoy this lovely heather. The light at the moment means I'm still able to shoot at ISO 100. I'm at f8, which I nearly always am. Gets me a nice amount of sharpness in the shot. And it leaves me with a shutter of 1/80th of a second with just one shot taken. So I can't not mention the wild heather. I know I've talked about it a couple of times in recent shots, but it's great how I've timed it so perfectly, having it come into bloom as I've come down to Cornwall. We don't get it too much in Kent. I know of one spot not too far from me. Got Ashdown Forest a little bit further. I think there'll be a couple of videos at the end of August, start of September, which will see a lot of these shots. Well, a lot of heather appearing in shots, I should say, if I can get my words out properly. And of course, it's the main reason why I want to head to the Peak District towards the end of September. Hopefully I won't be leaving it too late to go up to that part of the world. If I can get some shots of this beautiful flora, that will make my year, it really will. Okay, so I've come down to this last scene to capture what is the classic shot here of the tin mine. I was hoping for a little bit more. Maybe I'm standing in the wrong place. Maybe I want to walk a little bit further down the hill. I was hoping for a little bit of wild heather in the foreground. But the one factor I wanted to make sure was, of course, you've got the chimney, which is going to impose on the foreground. Didn't want to be too far down the hill and find that the chimney then encroached on the landscape in the background. But one thing I always love when I come down to Cornwall is just how blue the sea is. It's just a beautiful aqua colour. I might have to try another long exposure, I'll see. But this as well, just so I get some detail, ensure I come away with the detail in the sky. I think I'll exposure bracket this particular shot. It's stunning. I can see Godrevi Lighthouse way off in the distance, where we were at the start of last week's video. See for miles around here. It really is. But the exposure bracket in question, go for one stop overexposed, one stop underexposed, focusing nicely on the chimney, and then the top horizontal along the top of the cliffs. Just we've got some lovely light hitting, and of course because I'm down below the sun, I'm not getting my shadow. My shadow is not affecting the shot either. but the perfect exposure, we're going for 1/100th of a second, there or thereabouts. The overexposure, we're going for 1/50th of a second, and the underexposed shot, we're going for around 1/250th of a second. So hopefully I'll be able to have as much data to play with in both highlights and shadows, so I can get all the detail in the background, all the detail in the foreground, all the colour in the foreground, and then I'll get some nice sharpness on our subject. Like I say, I'll probably get a long exposure as well, but here we go. Focusing nicely where I want to on the chimney, as I mentioned, with that top horizontal on the chimney. There's the 2-second timer, and there's our 3 shots. And here is that final image up on screen now. Okay, and on that note, I think this is where I'm going to end this video. This is where my Cornish adventure ends. Has been an amazing week down here in the southwest of England. But until next time, when I see you back home in Kent, you take care. Goodbye.